It sure took a while for GM to bring out its Ultium electric vehicles, but hey, they're finally here. The Blazer EV is one among a large family of fully electric vehicles based on the Ultium platform. And you may be wondering, but why would I buy a Blazer EV when I can also buy a Chevrolet Equinox EV from the same brand, or a Honda Prologue, or an Acura ZDX, or a Cadillac Lyriq? Look, they're not all exactly the same, and that's what I'm about to prove with the Blazer EV. There are actually some technical differences between this and its corporate twin, the Equinox EV. So come with me, let's go for a drive, and let's explore all the fine details of the 2024 Chevrolet Blazer EV. 4 years ago, General Motors introduced its Ultium EV battery platform. Now, the idea with Ultium was to allow GM to modulate the battery pack to create economies of scale and manufacture EVs at a more affordable rate and also drive down the final sales cost. It was very promising, and with that architecture, GM promised a wide range of all new electric vehicles, ranging from very small subcompact cars like the Chevy Bolt EV, all the way to massive large pickup trucks like the GMC Hummer EV. Unfortunately, things did not turn out as planned. I mean, year after year, we kept waiting after GM's electric vehicles. The carmaker was introducing a whole bunch of different models like the Equinox EV, the Cadillac Lyriq, and like this, the Blazer EV, but they just weren't coming out. GM had manufacturing issues, delays, problems, glitches, software issues that delayed and delayed and delayed the delivery of its electric vehicles. It got to a point where us automotive journalists were basically making fun of the car maker in just basically straight up asking our PR representatives, do your cars even exist? Well, they're here now. GM has finally brought them on the market. The Blazer EV is yet another mid-size SUV, and it's also very similar to the Equinox EV. That's right, GM or Chevrolet currently sells two mid-size electric crossovers in its lineup. So what's the difference? What's the difference between the Equinox and the Blazer? Well, that's what I want to find out today. All right, so inside the Chevy Blazer EV, yes, I'm wearing a different shirt because this is a different day. This is the beauty of filming a video, isn't it? So you're probably wondering, okay, so why would I get a Blazer EV and not get an Equinox EV? What's different about it? Because yes, they're both based on the same Ultium architecture. They're roughly the same size. They're both kind of mid-size-ish SUVs. The Blazer is what GM considers to be a more dynamic, sportier version, and it's also available with more power and a bit more range depending on which configuration you're going to take. You know, I already talked about the exterior design. The exterior design is really where this vehicle looks, in my opinion, better than the Equinox EV. Equinox looks good, but this looks much better. And then you can even have a high-performance SS version that you can't get on the Equinox. In this configuration, I'm driving the RS model. The battery capacity is 85 kilowatt hours. This is an all-wheel drive RS. It's good for a combined 288 horsepower, and you'll get roughly 279 miles of range, according to the EPA. Very competitive, not that powerful, but again, this is a Blazer. It's not a high-performance vehicle, so it doesn't really need to be all that powerful. And in terms of performance, well, it's also just average. I'm about to accelerate. I'm getting onto a highway off-ramp. Once the traffic moves over, I'll get to punch it a bit and you'll get to see how this thing performs. I've driven the Equinox. I'm driving this. They feel very similar, very quiet, very smooth, well put together. I'll give that to GM. These things are really well built. And here I am on the highway and I'm gonna punch it. 288 combined horsepower, instantaneous throttle, but still very smooth. And I think this was done on purpose by GM. When I spoke to them during the Equinox launch, you know, they were saying, we're not trying to make a spaceship, we're not trying to wow everybody with crazy acceleration or like something like the Ioniq 5N, for instance, which I reviewed on this channel. We just want to make a Blazer that happens to be electric. And that's what this feels like. It's roomy, it's comfortable, it's spacious. I don't know if you're hearing the wind noise. There's a bit of wind noise. There's tire roll because this one is fitted with massive 21-inch wheels, low-profile tires. That's kind of inevitable. And suspension damping remains relatively stiff. Again, that's the shortcoming of dealing with a very heavy battery. Electric vehicles are extremely heavy. This car weighs like more than 4,000 pounds. It's really, really heavy. So you kind of need to compensate with stiff suspension. It's hard to, if it was too soft, it'd just be bouncing around like this. It would be just unbearable. Interesting fact about the Blazer EV and the Equinox EV and its all-wheel drive configuration: the front motor is a typical permanent magnet setup. That's what pretty much everybody in the automotive industry uses. The rear motor, however, is an induction motor. That's very important. I wrote about that on the TopSpeed website. I encourage you to go read my article about the importance of induction motors because they don't require any rare earth metals to build. Permanent magnet motors need rare earth metals because of the magnet that's in it, but not an induction motor because it doesn't have any magnets. Now, the benefits of an induction motor, it's also much more affordable setup. So it allows GM to scale the vehicle, make it more affordable to build, lower the price. Very vague steering wheel. There's no feedback really. Again, that's not the purpose of this vehicle. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to drive. Like any electric car is fun to drive. I like driving these EVs. I like the smoothness, the quietness. And you know, GM did pump in some kind of fake engine sounds. It sounds okay. It's not like the Ioniq 5N. And again, you don't want that kind of gimmick with this vehicle. Okay, so in terms of regenerative braking, there's a button here on the infotainment system, and that's annoying. Again, you have to go through the infotainment system, but it's right there at least. It's always there. It's always available. It's very quick. One pedal driving, and it's actual one pedal driving. Look, I let go, I let go, I let go, and I can come to a complete stop. And then when I turn it off, well, it does slow down when I let go, but it's really much more progressive, and I can't come to a full stop with it. If that's not enough for me, I have on the steering wheel right here a little paddle, and that's the same as in the Bolt EV, and then I can pull it and get even more regen. So if I find that the one pedal driving feature doesn't brake fast enough, I can go one step further by playing with this little paddle right here. That's neat. And if I turn it off, if I turn off one pedal driving, I can still use this paddle right here, but it just won't be as aggressive. There are nice different levels of regen braking. It's still not as good as what Hyundai does with the iPedal, because Hyundai really gives you like 4 levels of resistance to play with. And there's even an auto mode, so the system automatically like detects like how regen braking will be applied for you. I still find that that is the best setup. GM did learn from the Bolt with this thing, and it does a pretty good job. For home charging, if your house is equipped with a level 2 home charging, which is what I recommend installing if you own an EV, you'll pull at a rate of just over 11 kilowatts, which is very good for level 2 charging. This should allow you to charge overnight, you know, roughly 10 hours from empty all the way to 100%. I'm gonna overtake. It does it very well. There's a good amount of power. It's very smooth, very quiet, very refined. And that's what you want from an electric Chevy Blazer. There's room for the kids back there, way more room than you need. Massive cargo space. I have a lot of storage compartments. Even the cup holders are humongous. Very American approach. My model is not equipped with a power sunroof. I'm a power sunroof kind of guy, so I find that annoying that on an RS, you're not getting this. But overall, very convincing package. What I really like about this vehicle is that, and just like the Equinox, is that they just feel like a crossover. It doesn't feel like I'm driving an EV. I have more than enough range than I need. You know, almost 300 miles of range. That's a lot. That's a lot more than you need for the daily grind. So there you go. On board the Chevy Blazer EV with a new shirt.